What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this week's episode of Married to the Game. After a week-long hiatus to ring in the new year and the brand new semester, we are back with another show. It's going to be a good one today. We've got it split up into parts, so it's a little bit more easily digestible. I don't really think I need to explain how that works. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm Noah Smith, as always. Zach Bates, Kimball Snap. Happy New Year, fellas. How you doing?
Doing great. Just ready to talk some sports. It's been too long.
Ready for the best episode of the year already.
Best episode of the year.
There you go.
So we're starting off with our first episode today. It's going to be the BYU Cougars. We're going to be talking about, and BYU basketball is on a roll right now. Kimball had earlier predicted in an earlier episode that they would struggle to open conference play. That they have not. Kimball, what are your thoughts about this team?
I mean, wow. That's like all I can say. DeBonsa is really looking like all the hype was completely true. He is phenomenal. I mean, just like his highlights every game are so fun to watch, and it's not even just him, like Richie Saunders in the last game goes over 30 points. And Arizona State obviously isn't one of the top teams in the conference, but they're still good. Like I believe they were 9-4 or 9-5 going into that game. Yeah. And it's like it's a decent team and it's still a Power 4 or Power 5 team. But I mean BYU, like they look legit. And I know I've said that before, but they're back to being a team that I expect to see in the Final Four.
Some big expectations for them now.
Yep.
100%. I agree. I've been really impressed with this team to open conference play. They win handedly at Kansas State. They beat Arizona State. Coming up next, they've got a game in the Huntsman Center, Salt Lake City, the Holy War, but basketball. BYU at Utah tomorrow night. We're looking at that game. It's going to be an 8 p.m. game on the big ESPN, the main network, not any of this ESPN2, not ESPN Plus, not ESPN 8, the Ocho, if you've ever watched the movie Dodgeball. That's a good movie. So, yeah, I mean, we'll start with you, Zach, since you're the resident Utah fan. I feel like we say this every episode.
Yeah.
What does Utah have to do to win this game, to even have a chance to win this game?
It's going to be really hard because it's even if you can stop one guy, you already know that the other two of the trio is going to score like 20-plus points. Yeah. So it's going to be really hard to try and stop them because you've got so many options with BYU. Even then, when those three don't have a big night, someone else is going to show up like Keita's going to all of a sudden also have another monster game like he's had before.
Yeah.
So I think...
And they're starting to get some production off the bench, too.
Yeah.
They're starting to get really scary down in Provo.
So I feel like defense is obviously going to be like the big key, but if they can also score to keep up with them, because you know they're going to score a lot. They just scored 100-plus against Arizona State. You're going to be expecting, like, supreme games on both ends of the court. But, hey, Utah and BYU have had history of being able to go 1-1 throughout the season, even though Utah still has been kind of not at the same level as BYU, so there's always chaos in this rivalry, which is always great. So we'll see if they can do that, especially being at the Huntsman Center now.
Yeah, and Kimball, for you, coming from the BYU side of this, how do you think BYU statistically profiles in this game? What kind of a game do you think we're going to get out of them against Utah?
Like Zach was saying, it's going to be high scoring. And BYU's big three are just pumping out points right now. Like, if Utah's going to stand any chance, they have to shut down you got to start shutting these guys down because DeBonsa is averaging 23.1 points a game, which I believe is the second highest in the country. And then Richie Saunders, not far behind at 19.1, and then Robert Wright III is 17. Like, all three of these guys are hovering around that 20-point mark, which is just ridiculous.
Nuts.
So, and if you can't shut them down, those three are going to beat you by themselves. And so you have to shut down probably two of the three if Utah's got a chance.
Yeah, and you look at like good mid-major teams. I'm glad you brought that up, Kimball, because you've got teams like Utah State where they have multiple guys above the 10-point per game line mark, right? Or you look at like a team like I remember we played South Florida and lost about a month ago. They were a team where they had like 4 or 5 guys that were above that 10-point line, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what separates a team like BYU from that and really pushes them into national championship contention the way it looks right now is, as Kimball said, you've got guys hovering towards that 20-point per game line. Granted, there's a pretty steep drop-off after, I think it's Rob Wright who's averaging the least points. He's at 17.1.
Yeah.
And so after him, I think it goes down to like 9 points a game.
It's actually at 8.
So
Worse. But
yeah, to prove my point, the fact that you have 3 guys that are carrying that much of the scoring load is insane. And so to bring a couple stats into this game, to put it into perspective a little bit, Utah actually is a really high-scoring team too. They average 80.3 points per game. BYU's at quite a bit more at 88.2, which, like Kimball said, shows just how much they've been scoring. The problem with Utah is they get scored on a lot as well. Their defense isn't great. BYU only allows 67 points a game. Mm-hmm. Utah allows 80.
Yeah.
And so you add that with like shooting numbers, you add rebounding, assists, blocks, steals. Like BYU is beating this Utah team in every major statistical category. And so for me, I find it really hard. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and pick this game unless there was anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we do.
I mean, you can toss your pick. I might say a few more things about it, but go on ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, just for me personally, like, it's really hard. I know at the beginning of the year, I said BYU would lose in the Huntsman Center, but just the way these two teams are playing right now and the trajectory of these two teams is BYU is looking like a world killer right now. I'm looking at their Big 12 schedule. I don't know if Utah is going to win a game in the month of January. That's how tough the schedule is. And so I have a hard time, and clip this, Utah fans, clip this, because you know I'm going to be wrong about this, so use this against me.
I don't know if I'm bold enough to...
But I think BYU is going to beat Utah by like 20 points tomorrow night. I think it's going to be just an absolute blowout.
Yeah.
What's your pick for this game, Zach? Because obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Utah got BYU in the Huntsman Center last year.
Last year, was it overtime game winner?
Yeah, 73-72. I remember we watched that game. All three of us watched that game together.
And that too was another year where BYU was also like very, very good for showing up to the Huntsman. Predicted probably to win pretty heavily, and so that's where I'm kind of always like, something always kind of happens. It leaves Utah in that situation where they're kind of fighting from behind. They've just fist is swinging. They've got nothing else to lose for. I think the biggest matchup really is that defense of the Cougars and then the offense of the Utes, because it's going to be really hard for Utah to stop BYU in any way. But if they can go in a shootout with them, then that's going to be able to help. So I think Utah needs a big offensive game. If not, Cougars are just going to start to run away with it. I think Cougars will win it, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you predict.
Okay.
Unless, it hinges on either a blowout or a close game, but I think they can put the close game in and have the chance of being able to send the Cougars home shocked, but at least they'll play.
Even when they hosted Arizona Arizona beat them by 19 points. It wasn't close. It was a blowout, but Arizona didn't put them into an absolute buzzsaw like I thought they would.
No,
I thought
Arizona's the number one team in the country, so
yeah. So
I think if they can handle them with Arizona at Arizona, I think they can handle themselves pretty well with BYU. They'll give them a good fight.
I'm going to agree with both of you in the sense that we'll start with me agreeing with Zach. This isn't this won't be an easier guaranteed win. This is going to be a game. BYU's got to be on their best game. They've got to be careful. They've got to be aware. It's going to be a sold out, if not close to sold out, Huntsman Center. It's going to be loud. There's a lot of passion. It's the Holy War, one of the best rivalries in the country. And again, Utah fans remember very recently that they beat BYU last year. So Utah believes they can beat BYU. Even though BYU's gotten much better, and it doesn't matter, it's a rivalry game. So I do believe it's still a very dangerous game, but I agree with Noah. I'm picking BYU by at least 20. I think I just don't see how you're going to stop DeBonsa. Like his highlights have
so
been
good, man. He's so good.
He's so good. Like he's back to being projected the number 1 pick in the draft, and I think that's for good reason. He is legit. He's so good, and BYU's defense isn't lacking either. I take BYU by at least 20, and this kind of brings me to a hot take that Noah may not really like, but I've got this hot take. I do want to know your thoughts, Noah. I think, and because we're Utah State students here, but I think BYU is in a completely different league and level than any other team in the state, including Utah State. I think the athleticism is not comparable between BYU or Utah and Utah State. Like, I think BYU would mess up and will mess up Utah and would mess up Utah.
What I'll say to that is I'm going to agree with you to a point. I think if the two teams play each other head-to-head, I think it would be ugly, right? I think, regardless, I think Provo, we get smoked. Salt Lake City, if it was like a neutral site game at the Delta Center, we'd lose. If it was the Spectrum, I think we wouldn't win, but I think we'd make it close. What I'll say about Utah State is this Utah State team, and we'll get to this in the Utah State portion, but this Utah State team itself is on another level of Utah State teams in recent history. Like, we've had good teams. I mean, we've had like 5-6 straight years of just like being in the tournament, and most of those years we don't win the conference. So it's just oddly like we're a legitimately good team. This team looks a lot better in pretty much every facet. The only problem I think I see with this Utah State team is they can't hit free throws. But like, granted, we're so good at shooting the rock like that. We haven't needed to be good at free throws, and so.
And I'm not saying that like...
No, I get what you're saying, though. Like, I do agree with you to that point where, like, yeah, BYU's in a different league because they're legitimately a top 10 team in the country, and, like, Utah State can't hang with that.
It's not to put Utah State down, because I believe that they should be ranked right now somewhere between...
And if we win...
No higher than 18, but no lower than 23. So, like, I think Utah State's a ranked team, hands down, but I just, like... You see, like, the kind of windmill dunks to
BYU's
down. I
agree with that. 100%. Yeah.
BYU's athleticism this year is, like, on par with teams like Arizona and Michigan. It's just, can they, like, play the game well enough, you know?
Yeah.
Athleticism, though, top 5. Can they get all the pieces together?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my...
To me, it kind of feels like you're comparing, like, the top level of, like, high school versus the top level of junior high, like... The recruits that they pick up, the money that they have, it's definitely big differences.
No. Those of you that understand, let me, like, I guess people from Utah County, it'd be like if, like, Viewpoint Middle School, my mom's place of employment, shout out Viewpoint, it's like if they went into, like, a game of Skyridge High School and tried to play them, like, it would be an absolute, like,
it's like, bloodbath, they could be the best of the junior high league, but you know that if they play high schoolers,
any high schooler is gonna, So, no, I agree.
They're on different levels, but they're both incredible at the level that they're on.
100%.
But hey, BYU's got some exciting games to finish out over this next week, and then they enter a gauntlet of games. But I'm excited for this Utah game.
It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Great one.
A little bit of football news. Football, as you guys know, is unfortunately coming to an end. National semifinal tonight, and then national championship next week. But a little bit of BYU football news. I don't want to spend too much time on it since football is kind of on the back burner now. BYU retained their entire football roster this week, which was good for them. They're bringing back every major key player, including LJ Martin, who we thought was going to the NFL.
He's back, baby. Running it back.
Then they hired Kelly Papinga as their new defensive coordinator. He's been in the building there in Provo. And so, Kibble, just super fast, give me your thoughts on all this.
BYU's bringing back everyone they need to. Other than, like, graduating people, obviously. BYU hasn't lost anyone worth, like, really noting.
Not too many transfers out.
Bear's back. LJ Martin's back. Tonavas is back. Kalani Sataki's back.
You know who's not back? Or J Hill.
Poor Jay Hill, man. But
Well, I don't know if I'd say
Parker
poor Jay
Kingston,
Hill, but
Kingston will be running it back as well. Like, BYU is not going anywhere. I expect them to even be quite a bit better than they were this last year. In the Big 12 title game again, we'll see if Tech is just as dominant. Hopefully not. But
they might put them in the buzzsaw.
you're going to see another 11-1 at least season from BYU, pending
100%.
any crazy injuries.
Good pickups.
BYU's not going anywhere.
Good pickups for BYU. That's been our BYU portion of the show. If you enjoy BYU athletics and you want to hear more about them, make sure to hit subscribe below. And make sure to leave a comment about your favorite BYU defensive coordinator of all time. That's kind of random, but let's see who knows ball, who's married to the game in the comments.
There you go.
We'll catch you guys in our next episode.
Boom!